Good morning. I am coming to you live from the Disney SKYLINER. This thing travels from our hotel here at Pop Century. We're going to go to the Caribbean Beach Resort in a quick transportation across the lake here. I gotta say, this is a bit scary, a little. I don't know. Oh, this thing really takes off quick. I like going backwards. Might be a little bit shaky, but I gotta say, this Disney SKYLINER is pretty awesome. Get you to where you're going quick. It also takes you to Hollywood Studios theme park and Epcot. Jessica's hanging out in the room. She doesn't care much for the food at Caribbean Beach, but I'm gonna try something new. So we're gonna give a food review of Caribbean Beach Resort. Let's get to it. So it's taken me a lot to kind of get over my fear of these things. I got stuck on something like this when I was a kid. It was more of a theme park one as to where this goes all throughout Disney World. The interesting thing about this, oh my goodness, this thing really moves. I got stuck on one of these things for like 2.5 hours when I was younger, so it's difficult to get over, but I'll tell you what, the sights are pretty amazing. That's our hotel over there. This sits in between Pop Century Resort and Art of Animation. And right here we got the Little Mermaid. That's Art of Animation over there, and you can see by looking at these things go by how fast they go. Luckily, Caribbean Beach is not very far. It's pretty close. We did take this the other day to Epcot. And it's nice. It's a little freaky at first, but you know, the more you ride it, the more you get used to it. You may be hearing a lot of wind through my microphone here because they have wind that constantly goes through this thing. It is nice when it's really hot. It's actually a really nice day here in Orlando, but if it's a little shaky or windy, I apologize for that. But we should be at Caribbean Beach here very shortly. As a matter of fact, I think we've started our descent into the Caribbean Beach Resort. Okay, we have made it to the Caribbean Beach Resort here. Just wanted to show you the hub. Right here, this takes you to Hollywood Studios. This one over here takes you to Epcot and Riviera Resort. Over here to our right, we have the Caribbean Beach Resort here. Looks pretty awesome. This one I think is a little pricey. I don't know if we would ever stay here, but it does look beautiful. The rooms are themed out pretty well from what I understand. Now the guy told me it's a little bit of a walk to the restaurant area, but I'm feeling pretty good. Let's go. Okay, so as we come up on the path here, the guy told me to just follow this path around. He said it's about a 10-minute walk. Or Old Port Royale here is like their shopping area and dining area around here. And as we continue up the path, that will take us there. But I wanted to point out, they have different other themed areas too, like Aruba and Jamaica, which is directly to our left, which will be probably Jamaican and Arubian themed rooms. So all kinds of cool things to do here. This is where we are. And then we're gonna have to come down here, and he told me to take the first left path. So I assume that's this one here. Go around, and that'll take us to Port Royale, where you see the knife and fork. That's where we're heading. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but Jessica's hanging out at the room. We're pretty exhausted. We've been down here a little while. She's not a big fan of some of the food that they have here. We're gonna kind of look at some of the different options. I'm gonna show you what I get. Give you an honest review of what I think. I gotta say, this place is absolutely gorgeous though. I mean, look at this. Got the SKYLINER behind us. And you know, I was about 11, 12 years old when I got stuck on one of those things. It was like 2.5 hours. I gotta say, it was pretty traumatizing, but slowly getting over my fear. I trust this one. And it's amazing how it works, how they've put it together. It's absolutely incredible. I think there's a golf course here somewhere too. I don't know. We're gonna kind of look around and check out the sights. More really interested to try some of the new food up here though. Hopefully it's not too expensive. Okay, we have reached Old Port Royale lobby here. This is where you would go if you were checking in, I guess. And this is where the food court is, I believe. One thing I did not like is coming from the direction I came from, I had to cross into the pool area, which is an awesome pool, but I don't know, I feel like, I'm sure there's another way around, but it was a little inconvenient. One thing that they try to do here is push mobile ordering. As to where it is easy, I understand everybody can't do it. So they got a burger here. I don't know, I'm not really sure how this resort works. Don't know if this is like their main area. I'm hoping to use my cup to get a free drink. Over here we have the Calypso Trading Post, their store here at Caribbean Beach Resort. Got some grab and go here. Got coffee up here. Oh, it seems like a lot of different selections. We're gonna walk around for a minute and check it out. Okay, so I got the pork carnitas here with pickled onions, the carnita meat here, plantain chips, Spanish rice, and beans. I gotta say, I don't know. I guess I thought this would come with burritos, like little tacos I could put the meat in, but this is pretty solid. It's also looking like I'm gonna need a knife here. Oh no, that kind of comes apart nicely. Okay. So first, I'm just gonna try a bite of the meat here and see how the meat quality is. Okay, so first taste, one thing I will say is I don't really care for this pesto sauce or whatever it is here. If I'd have known that it was going to be that thick, I probably wouldn't have got it on here. But they do have, it's nice and tender in the middle, but it is a little burned on the sides. It's a little crispy, but it's okay. It's got good flavor. Now we're going to try it with a little bit of everything. The Spanish rice, the carnitas, with the pesto, and the pickled onion. But I got a little bit of salt. I feel like the rice needs a little bit of salt. It's kind of bland. I don't know. This was the one thing I read had pretty good reviews. It's okay. Try the plantain chip here. That's really good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this plantain chip thing that they put in, I wish there were more of these. Because that, I think, is like the star of the dish here. I mean, the meat's okay, but like I said, it's pretty hard on the outside. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Not too sure, but I'm going to finish this off here, and I'll give you a little review of it when I'm done. Okay, so on to the food review. I think I spoke a little too soon. The carnitas were actually very delicious. The one piece that I happened to take off there was really the only crispy piece, and really that wasn't too bad either. The rest of it was very fall apart, really nice. The only thing I wish, when I don't know why, when I was thinking carnitas, there might be like tacos or some tortillas. I might have been able to wrap it in, but that might have been a little weird with the rice. The rice was a little bland at first, but I noticed there's like a red sauce at the bottom of the bowl. And when you mix that in with the rice, it is absolutely delicious. I don't know if they just put that at the bowl at the bottom on purpose. Don't really know. Not really a fan of the pesto sauce. I don't even know what that sauce is. It's like pesto, some kind of cilantro in it. Wasn't a big fan of that. The plantain chip, absolutely delicious. I wish that came with a few of those instead of just the one. But the carnitas were delicious, absolutely delicious. Wanted to make sure, and I mentioned that because I know I did at first, might have seemed like I didn't like it. The pickled onions were okay, not very pickle flavored. It was kind of bland. I couldn't really taste much of the onion either. So I feel like whatever pickling they did took away from the taste of the onion, but didn't add enough of the pickled flavor that I like in pickled onions. But that's a small gripe to an awesome dish. I would definitely get that again. As far as this resort, I don't know if we would stay here. This is kind of an expensive place. But at the same time, it is huge. It is one of the biggest resorts down here. They do have bus transportation that will take you around, like a inner resort transportation where you can go. They'll take you to the SKYLINER. Not a very long walk from where I came. What I don't like about some of the resorts down here is that you have to take the SKYLINER to either Epcot or Hollywood Studios. They don't have bus service to Magic, or they only have bus service to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom unless there's bad weather and they can't run the SKYLINER. I kind of wish they would run buses everywhere because there's some people who don't like the SKYLINER. They don't run the buses from our resort either at Pop Century. you have to take the Skyliner to either Epcot or Hollywood Studios or drive like we did. But we have taken the Skyliner to both. This is an enormous resort. From what I'm told, this is one of the biggest resorts on property where they have to have inner bus transportation. So keep that in mind. There was a lady who I was talking to that has one of the refurbished rooms, but it's way back. It's like a mile away, maybe more. But she takes the inner transportation, which makes it very easy. They drop you off right next to the food court. One thing I didn't like about the food court too is there's only one line. They have all the options, but for one line. So if you do mobile ordering, that might be something you consider when staying at a place like this, because the line wasn't very long now, but at the end of the day, when people are coming back from the parks, I bet that line gets ridiculously long. Really nice people here though. Beautiful resort, absolutely gorgeous. They have beaches, but yeah, you don't want to swim in the water because here in Florida, they do have alligators. As a matter of fact, over here, I saw something pop its head up. I couldn't tell if it was an alligator or not. I have seen alligators down here before. They usually fish them out pretty quickly. For those of you who don't know, there was actually a real bear at Magic Kingdom yesterday that was up in a tree that had climbed over. You know, they do have some wild bears down here. But here's one of the beaches I was talking about, but you can see it's fenced off here. They don't want you going anywhere near the water, especially with all the gators. But there is where I came from, all the way down there. We got the Skyliner up here. Now, I still have to walk a pretty good ways. There's a bridge here that you have to go across. It took me every bit of 10 minutes, probably longer than that, actually. If I was walking fast, I might have been able to make it in 10. I do not like how when you come this direction, though, which is the closest way to go if you walk, you do have to walk the pool area. And it's they have like 2 different pools and then a hot tub. You have to walk through the huge crowd of people swimming to get to the front here. Now, the way I came out the front door, but I had to walk all the way around and then back to this path to get here. So cutting through the pool area is the easiest way to go. But again, it's a little inconvenient, but again, it's a small gripe. But people who are paying the kind of money to go to these places, you know, convenience is everything. But I don't know. It's a really nice place. I will say that. Well, that was our quick food review here at the Caribbean Beach Resort. It's called, the pork carnitas, it's called something like the Ezro Manita or something. It's very hard to pronounce, but they were telling me that is their #1 seller. So I wanted to try that. Most of it was absolutely delicious. Don't forget, if you do get that, kind of mix your rice in with that red sauce at the bottom. That was key. That was key, because without that rice was pretty bland. But when you add that sauce on top of it, absolutely fantastic. After that first bite of the carnitas, it was like all uphill from there. It was completely delicious. And it fell apart. Very juicy, very good. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice resort. Like I said before, though, I don't know if we would ever stay here. The options of food are picky. Or you know, it's like Jessica's a little picky on different foods. I can see why she wouldn't want to eat some of this stuff. One thing I do want to mention too, make sure you check for different food allergies. A lot of different foods here have coconut in them. I'm allergic to coconut, so I have to pay attention to that. Also, if you ask anybody who works here, they will literally bring the chef to you to tell you what items don't have coconut in them. Even though you can read them, they add that extra touch, you know, to make sure that it's safe and that there's no coconut in it at all, which is nice. That's nice to have. But anyway, I gotta make the hike back to the Skyliner. I hope you enjoyed this video. With all that being said, I am out, and always remember, the adventure is out there.